Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. Luke might be joining us later. We don't know yet. Sorry we missed you last week. Just couldn't get to it. A lot of us had different things going on. But we'll start right off today with the unfortunate news for Michigan State that Joshua Langford is out for the season. What does this mean for Michigan State basketball?
Yeah. Well, considering how these last couple weeks have gone, if you had asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said it's not that big of a deal. But now looking at it for a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Definitely.
You go, Chris.
Definitely a steady presence for them that they don't really seem to have right now. So, big loss.
You go, Chris.
Yeah, well, maybe in the game against Indiana at home or at Illinois on the road against bad teams. I mean, that might help them because Langford might help them because he performs against bad teams. But we know he doesn't show up in the big games, so I'm really not too concerned about how this is going to affect Michigan State down the stretch when they play good teams like Michigan or when they get into the tournament. I don't think this will affect them too much because I don't think Langford's that big of a presence in big games anyways. But obviously, he's an impact on the team, and this might hurt them a little bit, but I think they'll be able to overcome it.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Before we talk about Langford being a choker, because we've also had another guy who you said was a choker show up in the biggest games. Yeah, what happened to David Price? I thought you choked in the big games. What happened to that?
Okay, he made up for it this year. Langford hasn't showed me anything.
Well, Langford's been hurt for all the big games. I mean, I don't know what big game they need him in. He was
Michigan last year in the tournament, in the Big Ten tournament.
I'm talking about this year. He was a changed player this year.
Oh, okay.
I'm
talking about last year. I live in the past.
If we didn't have Langford, we would have lost the Texas game. He didn't play well against Louisville, but in the second half he got it going. But losing him, it's just losing that shooting threat is huge because you got Aaron Henry off the bench, a freshman. He's pretty good, but the one thing he doesn't do is shoot the ball. So now you got 3 players on the court that really can't shoot the ball. I guess Goins is pretty good, and Ward is actually good at shooting threes. He just never shoots them. But he was one of our best defenders, and Aaron Henry's a good defender too. But Langford is one of the best defenders we had on the team. He was also our leader on and off the floor. He was a team captain for a reason. He exemplified what it is about Michigan State basketball. And without him, it's just been there's been a gaping hole in that leadership position. And Winston is trying to take that all on himself, but he really misses Langford right now. This really brings our ceiling down. I thought we were a Final Four team with Langford. I don't know if we're an Elite 8 team anymore. Just because of the shooting that he brought us.
All right. Move on.
All right.
All right, we'll start with Michigan State. It's been a tough couple of weeks for them. They lose to Indiana at home. Mike was quoted in saying after Michigan beat Indiana that Indiana was the worst team in the Big Ten. So apparently Michigan State lost to the worst team in the Big Ten. And then they proceeded to lose against Illinois. And the court was stormed at the State Farm Center. But they bounced back yesterday by defeating Minnesota. What are your reactions to these games?
Well, Indiana have been very, very, just a hot team. Coming off of 7 straight losses. They did keep the lights out, I'll give you that. And they didn't really miss when it mattered. But then losing to Illinois is inexcusable. I know it was a road game, but it's not really a road game. They don't have any fans.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's just, you can't afford to have that. That's a very, very, very
No, we can afford to have that. We're still a 2 seed, I'm pretty sure.
It'll be a 3. Marquette goes up to the 2 line.
Nope. Lenardi has us as a 2 and Marquette as a 4, so.
He moves Marquette down after beating Villanova.
Yep. Well, embarrassing losses earlier in the season. Just, especially that Indiana loss is looking awful right now.
Yeah. Mike?
You go.
Okay. I'll start with the Minnesota win. That's a great win. As a Michigan fan, I know how tough Minnesota is, so that's a great win. The Indiana...
They beat them pretty handily, too.
Yeah. The Illinois loss, that's a great loss. I mean, Illinois is just a great basketball team. That's the toughest place to play in the Big Ten. It's not close. That's a great loss. That's a quadrant 1 loss. That should boost their resume losing to Illinois. But I'll tell you what, this Indiana loss is absolutely dreadful. Indiana had lost, I don't know how many games in a row. And they're playing at Breslin. This is on College game day. Everybody's all hyped up to watch the great Michigan State Spartans. They lay an absolute egg against Indiana, who Mike was quoted as saying is the worst team in the Big Ten.
We didn't even play that bad. We just got outplayed.
No, it's embarrassing.
We didn't even play that bad.
It's one of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen on the basketball court in my entire life. So that's why they're a 3 seed right now in my mind. But great loss to Illinois, great win over Minnesota. That Indiana loss is awful.
Well, it all stems from the Purdue game. I thought we played pretty well in the Purdue game. Purdue, there's just some days you're not winning at Purdue, and that was the day we weren't going to win at Purdue. The Indiana game, it was frustrating to watch them play, but when the other team is just lights out, shoots the ball like that, and you're not shooting the ball very well, I wasn't even mad that they lost that game. They got thoroughly outplayed by Indiana, so I'm okay with that loss. And Indiana was motivated. They saw all the game day signs and whatever. And, MSU definitely underestimated them, but they played really well. I gotta give it to them. They played like the best team in the country, Indiana, when we played them. So, congrats to them. They might make the tournament now.
No. I like the tournament. They should be like Oklahoma last year and just lose all their games and still get in.
Yeah, well, they'll probably still get in. That's how the committee works. The Illinois loss, when you're in a funk, the last team you want to play is Illinois with the pressure that they run, and it was not a good loss.
Yes, it was. It was a great loss.
But the Illinois game, I think, might be a blessing in disguise later in the season. It just proves you can't overlook a team. And I guess the Indiana game was similar, but they once again got outplayed by Illinois. But the defensive intensity wasn't there. Turning the ball over 20 plus times is unacceptable. So, but the Minnesota game proved that they're back being locked in, and I really think they are still a top 10 team in the country, and they'll be fine. What?
Hey, Mike.
What?
Mike, how can you not be mad about losing to Indiana instead of Indiana thoroughly outplayed you, and you had no chance when you missed the amount of free throws that you did in that game?
Oh, no doubt about it. You're right. You're right about the free throws. I failed to mention the free throws. I should have. Yes, if we made the free throws, we would have won the game. But the fact that
wouldn't Nick Ward go like 4 for 12 at the line?
Well, he went 1 for 9 from the line. And let's not. Nick Ward had been lights out from the free throw line before that game, and that kind of.
What was he shooting, like 68% or something?
He was shooting 70%, which for him that's great. But I guess the law of average.
It's all in context.
The law of averages caught up to him. There's no way he was going to stay at 70%, and in the free throws, they weren't even that bad. I mean, some of them were, but a lot of them were going in and out. You just get unlucky sometimes. But, Indiana, the fact that they just shot the lights out of the ball, and I thought we played pretty decent on defense. Give it to them. They deserved the win. We deserved the loss. And the Minnesota game, we were locked in. Shooters were shooting. Cassius was aggressive. Nick Ward was great on the defensive end, and We are undefeated when Nick Ward scores 15 plus, so we got to feed the ball to Nick Ward.
All right. Well, let's move on to Michigan. They defeated rival Ohio State. They lost to Iowa, and then they bounced back with wins over Rutgers and Wisconsin. What's your reaction to the last couple of weeks for Michigan?
Well, I think Iowa didn't miss in that game, so I'm not mad about that. Michigan also couldn't make a shot. Really worried too about Iggy. He hasn't really shown up very consistently the last couple of weeks. Although he'll score 20 and then he'll score 2. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but
we have our closer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was established yesterday.
The Wisconsin one was good. That was a good bounce back. Ohio State is just in the free fall. And Rutgers they're solid. They're not good, but they're solid. They have some good wins. That was a good win. But, tough road environment there. But other than that, I think the week went well. Just the Iowa game, they got just run out of the gym.
Well, I think this is a simple case of Michigan having an easier schedule than Michigan State. Give Michigan State's schedule, they have the same amount of losses. You can't tell me otherwise.
Oh, boy.
With the mediocre offensive team that Michigan has been over the past couple of months, you can't tell me they wouldn't have 3 losses if they played our schedule. The teams that we played on the road, Michigan once again has another home game against Penn State coming up, and another home game after that. So, all they do is play home games. It's ridiculous. John Beilein needs to stop paying off the Big Ten officials.
So is this what you're going to do now that you're behind us again? You're just going to complain about the schedule?
Yep, exactly. But now I don't want to complain too much because our schedule's the reason why we're still a 2 seed, even though we have 5 losses.
Michigan is 5 spots ahead of Michigan State, strength of record.
No, strength of record, everybody's tied at 0. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so start with the Ohio State game. That was a good win. Ohio State's a really good basketball team. And, they got a nice win. Ohio State struggled to shoot the ball. I felt like if Ohio State could shoot the ball a little better, they would have been in that game. I didn't think Michigan played all that well. The Iowa game, that's a good loss. That's one of the toughest places in the Big Ten to play, and Iowa showed up. They learned from their rout at the hands of Michigan State a couple weeks ago, and they took it on. They put it on Michigan. Rutgers is a good win. Rutgers is like Alex said, they're a solid team. They're not a great team, but they're a solid team. Wisconsin, that's a good win at home. Wisconsin's a tough team to play, so pretty good. Besides the loss to Iowa, but this team's offense is going to catch up with them. Their offense is just not good enough to win a national championship. They don't have that.
Well, I recall a similar statement last year from a lot of people.
Well, they
went all the way to the championship game.
Well, they had Wagner last year, and they don't have him this year.
I'm going to address that here in a second.
Listen, the fact that Xavier Simpson cannot shoot when he plays outside of Chrysler Center is going to catch up with him. Charles Matthews is one of the worst shooters on the team. Yes, he was clutch in the Wisconsin game, but he's been not good at all. Teskey, he's a pretty good player.
Oh, really?
Oh, now he's going to say it.
I mean, I'll still take Nick Ward and Xavier Tillman over him, but he's still a good player. Who else you got? Poole's good. He settles for jump shots too much, but he's pretty good. I think Dinkus is the most overrated player in the Big Ten. My gosh. Every time I watch him play, he shits the bed. Everybody's hyping him up. All the Michigan fans I see on Instagram saying, oh, he's the National Player of the Year. He's averaging 15 points. Wow, 15. First of all, wow, 15 points. Congratulations. Second of all, he can't shoot. And he's not a great defender. He goes to the rim. He gets blocked every time. He's the most overrated player I've ever seen. I'll take Kenny Goins over him any day. It's not even close.
Okay. I'll go in order here. The Ohio State win. No? Good win. beat the teams you should at home, and that's a big rivalry win. So good win there. The Iowa loss, that was one of the greatest losses of all time. Iowa, I'm willing to say it right now, I've never seen a better performance on a basketball court than what I saw from Iowa. That was
stop
insane.
it. Stop it. Iowa wasn't even that good.
I swear their big man must have shot like 18 out of 20 from the field.
They missed.
Unbelievable.
Iowa could have won by 40. They missed several wide open shots. Michigan's defense was. Let's not sugarcoat it and act like Michigan's defense was great. They were just making tough shots. Michigan's defense was awful against Iowa.
They missed their open shots.
Give me a break. Michigan's defense.
That's a great loss.
Listen, Michigan's defense doesn't show up on the road. They only show up at home, and it's been proven.
That's why they had like 46 points at Villanova. Interesting.
Yeah, well, you're living in the past, just like Michigan State fans last year when we were living on that North Carolina win. That 30-point drubbing of North Carolina. See what it'll take you when it comes to March. It doesn't mean crap.
Okay then. Rutgers, that's an awful win. Wisconsin, great win, and I will address my concerns about Michigan not having a closer. Charles Matthews has stepped up to the plate. This is what we see happen with a lot of Michigan teams. We've seen it over the years. A guy starts to emerge towards the middle to the end of the season, and he puts the team on his back, and I believe that is what Charles Matthews is going to do.
No.
We saw it with Derek Walton a couple of years ago.
No.
Honestly, we saw it with Rockmont
Give me
last
a
year.
break.
Rockmont was clutch at the end of games. He was the engine of that team last year, and I believe Charles Matthews is going to be that guy this year, and he showed it in the second half of that Wisconsin game. He was unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
That was a great win to cap off a decent 2 weeks for Michigan.
That's like saying, he had one good game. That's like saying Kenny Goen should be our closer because he had one great game. He had one good game. He's been in a shooting slump for the past month, and all of a sudden he's your closer.
What are you talking
about? And he had a game winner against Minnesota. He's Mr. Clutch.
Okay, wow, Minnesota. They're a really tough team to play. Wow.
They are a tough team to play.
Yeah, we just blew them out by 30.
Yeah, that's right. They're a good team.
Yeah, Michigan was also at home, too, so there's no excuses for that.
It was a good win.
Doesn't mean Minnesota's going to play the same every game.
So it was 2 good wins, 1 terrible win, and 1 great loss for Michigan. And, decent week, and we'll see what happens this week. They got a really tough game against Penn State coming up. But we'll address that later. Ohio State falls to Michigan, but bounces back by getting revenge on Rutgers, beating Penn State, and narrowly defeating Indiana. What's your reaction to these games from Ohio State?
They suck. That's all I have to say.
That's ridiculous. Listen, you lose at Michigan, that's fine. They don't have the talent. They're probably the least talented team in the Big Ten. Besides Caleb Wesson. Besides Caleb Wesson, they have nobody. They're a bunch of nobodies on the floor.
They got football players playing for them.
They got Kyle Arns' brother playing for him. I mean, anytime you beat Rutgers, that's a good win. So Penn State, after going 0-3 last year, Chris Holtmann gets his first win against Penn State. That's a great win. Exercising the demons of Penn State. That's a very good win. Indiana, I thought their offense wasn't very good, but their defense was playing well. And I thought Indiana was going to take it after they once again went into their MSU phase and shot 4 for 4 from 3 in the last couple minutes. But Andre Wesson took control of the game, and so that's why Ohio State is now they're even. They're 6-6 in conference play. I think they're a tournament team, even though Clark Kellogg said they weren't, which is ridiculous. They are a playoff team. They are a tournament team.
Good loss to Michigan. Awful win against Rutgers. Awful win against Penn State. But I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with the Indiana win, especially when they had a fight back at the end. C.J. Jackson has really impressed me. He was very good in the Michigan game, late in the game, and when they needed him.
Late in the game? Michigan was up like 20.
No, he was good. He was good in clutch situations. against Michigan, he was good. Obviously, made that shot today. Tied against Indiana. He's looking like
Chris,
a player
Miles
that can be a clutch player.
Miles Bridges was good in clutch situations down 10 against Michigan.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be a good player down the stretch here for Ohio State, and he might lead them to one win in the tournament. I don't know, maybe.
Well, this proves that Chris Holtman's the best coach in the Big Ten. What he's doing with this, there's a bunch of nobodies on this team, and he's going to take them to the tournament. That's just unbelievable. The job he's done there. He's turned Caleb Wesson into a fatter Nick Ward, and he's turned that into one of the best players in the Big Ten.
Okay, so let's move on to the conference scoreboard. Penn State first conference win over Northwestern, Maryland over Nebraska, Wisconsin defeats Minnesota, Iowa over Indiana, Illinois over Rutgers, Purdue over Nebraska, and Iowa with a miraculous comeback in the last couple minutes to beat Northwestern today. Any reaction to these games?
Penn State beat a Northwestern team that can't shoot. They had no problems on the road. I know Michigan had trouble winning at that building, but Penn State had no trouble. Maryland over Nebraska. Maryland's just better right now. Nebraska's a mess, which is unfortunate because that was a good win for us earlier this year. Wisconsin hasn't been playing great lately. I know they barely lost to Michigan, but they have not scored enough points to really be talked about as being one of the best teams in the country. And we only put up 56 against Minnesota. That's a little troubling. Iowa over Indiana. That's a good win for Iowa. I know Assembly Hall doesn't seem like it's an easy place to play, or it doesn't seem like it's a hard place to play because everybody wins there, but it is a pretty hard place to play, I guess. Illinois beating Rutgers. All right. Purdue over Nebraska. Nebraska sucks. And Iowa over Northwestern. Northwestern is not good. And we saw it earlier with them losing to Penn State.
Well, Penn State sucks. That's clear. Nebraska, I thought they were going to be better. They had Palmer. They had a couple of good.
Listen to this stat. James Palmer is averaging 19 points a game on 35% shooting.
Listen, it's about quantity, not quality.
That is so bad.
I'm kidding.
I know.
I think there's starting to become a big divide here between the top. It was the top two, and now I think Purdue's getting into that conversation. I'm not into Maryland. I don't think they're as good as everybody says.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Maryland's that great.
No, I think they're a little overrated. I think they're gonna have a good regular season, but come playoff time, I don't think they're gonna be there.
That's what Maryland does every year. They make the tournament as like a 5 or 6 seed, and they always get upset early. It'll probably happen again.
Yeah, they're never great. They're always like very good, but they're never great.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's just a 3-man race right now. Honestly, it might be even a big 2. I think Purdue's just playing exceptionally hot right now.
No, I think Purdue's going to win the Big Ten. They got the easiest schedule remaining.
That's true.
Okay, yeah. Great win for Penn State, finally getting a conference win.
Tournament team.
Yep, that's right, tournament team. Maryland, they're okay. Nebraska is awful. I don't know what happened to them.
Copeland.
What?
Copeland. I feel Isaac Copeland got hurt. I feel bad for Tim Miles because he's going to be gone after this year, but he was my favorite coach. It's too bad that he's going to be gone.
Illinois, great win. You look at Purdue, they're playing very well right now. Not a team you want to play. And then this win, Iowa today. Okay, I'm making the slideshow, and Iowa's down 10 with 3 minutes left, and I go back and look just to check the final score, put it back in, and they win by 1 point. So, great comeback for them. over Northwestern, even though Northwestern's not very good.
You need a buzzer beater to beat Northwestern at home.
No, win's a win. Good win for Iowa. They're a very good team.
I think Iowa is soft. They'll prove it later in the season. They're a soft team. When
I
Michigan,
think they're a Final Four caliber team.
when Michigan State punched them in the mouth, they had
Wait, what?
what?
Iowa's a Final Four caliber team.
Okay. Listen.
Anything that beats Michigan doesn't make them Final Four caliber.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Well, here's the thing about Iowa. You know, Michigan State punched them in the mouth and they had no answer twice. They're a soft team and they'll prove it again. Everything went perfectly against Michigan. That's why they won that game. But once they start playing better teams and adversity strikes, they'll go back and choke again like they always do. Fran's always done that as a head coach. And I'm not buying into Iowa at all. I think they'll probably get upset in the first round, to be honest with you.
I could see that happening.
Okay, move on to a couple big games from the last week. Duke goes into Charlottesville and handles Virginia. What are your reactions from this game?
I'm still into Virginia. Duke shot the lights out from three. They went right into Virginia's game plan, and it somehow works for Duke. Duke is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country, and Virginia made them take threes. And for some reason, they decided not to miss. So I'm still all in Virginia. I think Duke just got a little lucky.
I like Duke.
RJ Barrett goes 6 for 6 to start from three, with a 29% shooter on the year.
Yeah, I think Virginia's in a little bit of trouble here, especially with this North Carolina game coming up. I don't think they're going to win that game. They just don't have that guy that can take over the game on offense. They have a bunch of guys who, they're catch and shooters. You get them the ball, you pass them right into their chest, they make threes like Kyle Guy, but Kyle Guy can't take over a game. And, Ty Jerome's good. I don't think he can take over a game either. They don't have that guy. Duke, I'm really starting to be impressed with what Duke's doing. They're one of the best defensive teams and one of the best offensive teams. They might just be in my Final Four when we go over that, whenever we do that. But, yeah, it was impressive. I know Duke was they shot the lights out. Everything went perfectly. So, we'll see how they do when they don't shoot the ball well. We'll see how that affects them later on. Maybe when they play North Carolina coming up, we'll see how they play against them.
Duke played very well in this game. You got to give them credit, but not really surprised here. When's the last time Virginia won a big game? Nobody can tell.
Last year against Duke.
Well, no, that doesn't count. They don't win big games. They never won a game that actually matters. That is big. Unless they're beating some crappy team in the first round of the tournament and then lose in the second round.
They didn't even make it out of the first round last year.
Tony Bennett is one of the worst coaches in the country. He is turning into the Jim Harbaugh of college basketball with these games. He loses big games every year. He's going to lose to Virginia Tech. He's going to lose to North Carolina.
Virginia Tech is not good. Give me a break.
They're definitely losing that
okay.
game. I'm getting sick and tired of the Virginia hype coming up with nothing.
Okay, they beat Virginia Tech by 30. I don't think they're losing to them.
They are. They're going to lose to them.
You remember, Virginia's only conference loss last year was at home to Virginia Tech. But they already played Virginia Tech at home, so they're going to destroy them on the road.
No.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to another big game this week from Mike's favorite conference. Marquette outlasts Villanova in a thriller. Any reactions from this game?
Marcus Howard is very, very good, but I don't think Villanova's there. I don't think they're going to ever get there this year. So I think Marquette's going to dominate some teams early in the tournament, but once they get a defense that kind of zones in on Howard, I think they're cooked.
Oh, I disagree with that.
How so?
Well, Marquette's my national champion. I'll let Mike go, then I'll tell you.
Okay, well, that's quoted, so when we get to March Madness, you have to pick a set.
Yes. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so we had two choking moments in a row. Marquette was winning, and Marquette, we all acknowledge Marquette should be winning this game. Villanova's a good team, but Marquette should be winning this game at home. And Marcus Howard inexplicably turns the ball over. I thought that was one of the biggest chokes I've ever seen. All you had to do was, you could have dribbled it out and taken a contested three, and it would have been better than just dribbling it off your foot like a dummy. And then Phil Booth, inexplicably, for no reason, has a layup, and he doesn't take it. I have no idea what the hell he was doing on the other side. And I've always considered Phil Booth to be a clutch player, but I don't know what he was thinking on that last play. Villanova should have won that game. The refs helped Marquette out a lot late in the game, calling that BS over the back call that wasn't even close to being over the back, giving Marquette the ball back. But, Villanova had a chance to win. They had a layup and they didn't take it. I don't know what they were doing. But Marquette did try to hand the game to Villanova, like they do. Marquette likes to lose games that they're supposed to win. That's just their MO. They love doing that.
Well, this was probably the best game I've watched all season. Very exciting.
You say that every week.
Marcus Howard was very good in this game. He was 38 points. He was good down the stretch.
He choked.
Over the end of the game.
He choked.
He would not have been in that situation without him. He was very good down the stretch.
Oh yeah, let's do this argument. Oh, he didn't choke because if he wasn't playing, they wouldn't be in this situation. No, that's an excuse.
One play. Give me a break.
One play. It should have cost him the game.
Same thing. Phil Booth. I didn't think he had a wide open layup. I thought Marquette did a good job defensively. That's because Woj.
He was 5 feet from the basket. He could have tried to finish through contact.
Phil Booth was unbelievably clutch in this game at the end of the game. This is a great basketball game between two very good teams. Both teams will go far in the tournament. Marquette's my national champion.
I don't think. Marquette is one of those soft teams. I think they're soft also. They're very similar to Iowa. If they play a physical team like say in Indiana, even if they play like in Indiana in the first round, like Indiana did earlier this year to them, they play a Louisville, they play a Kansas State. If they play Kansas State, they're going to lose that game. I know they beat Kansas State, but that was at home, and that was without Dean Wade. So, I think Marquette's a soft, and they're gonna be upset early in the tournament. I'm almost certain of it.
Now, I would love to combat your point about them going in on Howard, which Villanova did in the last couple minutes of that game. And Howard got a couple baskets, but Sakar Anim, who was nasty in this game, might be the best defender in the Big East. Had 17 points.
There's no way you're going to tell me your team isn't very one-guy dominant when they need him to score almost 50 points a game.
They're not.
That win.
Sam Hauser averages about 17 points a game, so no, they're not.
Yeah, what did Sam Hauser do? I didn't even know if he played. I didn't even see him.
Sam Hauser wasn't very good in this game.
Did he even show up? Did he even get off?
A 16 seed is going to play them for crying out loud and just zone in on Howard.
They're not. Okay, well, Marquette is going to...
Then let Sam Hauser score 40 points and beat you.
Okay, he will.
Where was he last game?
He wasn't very good, but Marcus Howard was good. You only need one of them to be good to win. This is a very good team. This is one of the better offensive teams I've seen in a long time in college basketball.
Because it's Marcus Howard, you're going to 50 shots a game.
I'm willing to say this is the best offensive team in college basketball.
No.
And they're in the national championship.
Nope.
It's going to be offense versus defense, Marquette versus Michigan in the national championship.
I think, no, Marquette is not making it past the first weekend. I'm guaranteeing that. You can clip that right now.
Okay, I will.
And Villanova is going to destroy them when they play them again, and they'll destroy them in the tournament because Villanova knows how to win and Marquette doesn't know how to win.
Well, they won this game. So.
Well, they tried to gift it to Villanova, and we all know that.
Okay, let's move on. Who are your 1 and 2 seeds?
Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, Tennessee, and my 1 seeds. Michigan, Michigan State, Kentucky. This is in no particular order. Kentucky and, what was the other team? North Carolina. Those are my 1 and 2 seeds.
Interesting. I agree with all the obviously Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, and Tennessee. My twos, I have Michigan, Michigan State. Let's see here. I don't know about Kentucky. I think they're very good right now. As of right now, I would take Kentucky. I'm gonna stick with Nevada as my other two.
I knew that was coming.
That's awful. Okay. Mike, by the way, you like this picture on here?
No. What the hell is that? Who are they playing?
It's UNH against Detroit Mercy.
Oh gosh.
Okay. All right, so my one seeds in order are Tennessee, Duke, Kentucky, and Michigan.
No.
Kentucky?
Get out of here.
Wait, say that again?
Tennessee, Duke, Kentucky, and Michigan.
Are you on crack? Are you on crack?
Let me finish my twos. My twos are Virginia, North Carolina, Gonzaga, and Marquette.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Wait, for your twos, you had who? Marquette? Virginia?
In order, I had Virginia, North Carolina, Gonzaga, and Marquette.
I would take Michigan State to beat everybody except for Virginia.
So you're telling me, all this talk about Gonzaga has no resume, and you put him as a 2 seed. Wow, that's pretty high.
They did beat Duke. I got to give them credit. They scheduled some decent games out of conference. They don't play anybody in conference, but they did schedule some decent games out of conference. So I give them a little bit of credit there.
Listen, I think Kentucky can become a 1 seed, but seriously, Michigan, what are you smoking? They're not a 1 seed.
And by the way, Alex, I have Nevada as an 11th seed, and they're only in the tournament because they're winning their conference.
That's pretty high. Listen, how do you have Michigan as a 1? Explain this to me. What has made them a 1 compared to the other team? Compared to Gonzaga? Compared to...
Well, okay. I'll compare them to all the teams on the 2 line. You look at a team like Michigan, and you compare them with Virginia. Michigan has better wins than Virginia. I don't really think that's up for debate. North Carolina, they beat North Carolina, and North Carolina has 4 losses.
Chris,
Gonzaga.
You can't tell me. You're not telling me Virginia is losing on the road to Iowa. You're not telling me that. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm just telling you they have better wins.
I'm telling you.
That actually happened.
Virginia has an offense and Michigan doesn't. That's what I'm telling you.
No, they don't. Virginia does not have an offense.
They're top 15 in offensive efficiency.
Well, that's fake because they play bad teams.
Oh, come on. Seriously?
All right. You look at a team, Gonzaga. They have some decent wins, but I cannot.
Now they have decent wins.
They do, but they play in the West Coast Conference, and I got to hold that against them. They don't play good
How
teams.
can you hold it against them? It's one of the best.
Oh, you know what? I got to.
Okay. We're moving on to Marquette.
No.
Marquette has better wins.
Gonzaga versus Marquette right now. There's no way you're picking
Marquette wins by 50 points if you put Gonzaga against Marquette.
Listen, I'm not even going to talk about Marquette.
Here's the difference. Marquette has one good player. Gonzaga is a good team. Team wins you games, not a player.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
And Killian Tilly would shut down Sam Hauser since he's
Killian Tilly's out right now, so
I'm assuming that he's healthy.
Marquette, Marcus Howard's obviously the best player on the floor. Sam Hauser's the second best player on the floor, so yeah.
What?
There you go.
Marquette is a soft team. Once they play a good defensive team, they'll fold. I can't wait for that to happen. Showed it against Indiana. They really folded in that game. Marquette's a fraud. They haven't played anybody good, and they haven't beaten anybody good besides Villanova. So don't come at me with this BS. And don't tell me Buffalo's good when you say Buffalo's a terrible team. So
Buffalo is an 11th seed, and that's only because they're winning their conference.
All right then. So that's not a good win for Marquette then. You can see that.
That's an awful win.
All right.
Buffalo should get in as an at-large.
No,
even if they don't win.
You're like, we can't put Michigan State ahead of Marquette because they've lost 3 straight. But Marquette would be in the middle of the pack if they play in the Big Ten, and I have no doubt about it.
Honestly, Honestly, it just comes down to who would win. If you're going to put Michigan State against Marquette, you cannot be telling me you're going to pick Marquette.
Oh, I pick Marquette.
Listen.
Week.
Listen, Marquette is one of those teams that would lose to Rutgers. They're one of those teams. They're soft. Rutgers loves playing against soft teams. And they would shut Marcus Howard down so much.
It doesn't matter. Sam Hauser would just step up then.
Well, Michigan State would put McQuaid on Howard and shut him down like he shut down everybody else he's defended. Then they put Kenny Goins on Sam Hauser. And there you go. Nobody's making shots. And Michigan State's blowing them out, which they would do.
Accurate.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on, and by the way, I want to give a preview for next week, as I was just thinking about this. A great topic for next week would be to rank the college basketball broadcasters.
Yes.
So, we'll be doing that next week.
How many are we choosing from?
Like play-by-play or actual analysts? Or both?
No, like the in-game broadcasters.
Yeah, for what network, though?
Any network. I'd probably have Joe Davis number one, but, I'm not going into that right now.
Oh, my gosh.
Are we going all the way to, BTN network and stuff? Or just, major ones?
Go ahead. Top five.
What?
Have a top five for next week.
All right.
So,
Every single one of my top five would have Bill Raftery in it. I'll just say that right now.
Dan Dockage, number one.
Okay. Dan Dockage is so bad. He's worse than Bill Walton. I don't even know how you could get worse than Bill Walton.
Bill Walton is so funny to listen to.
Dave Pasch and Bill Walton will be in my top five.
He sounds so clueless.
okay, this is for next week. We are moving on.
The Conference of Champions!
Back in the
All right,
1800s.
we'll be naming our worst coaches from each Power 6 conference. Alex, we'll start with you, the Pac-12.
What'd you say? Sorry, no.
The worst coach in the Pac-12.
The worst coach in the Pac-12? That puts Steve Alford, even though he's fired.
No.
I was gonna pick Steve Alford too. Steve Alford completely underachieved.
That should count because he started the year there.
Fine, put Steve Alford down.
All right, Steve Alford because he's fired and he sucks ass every year.
You can go, Chris.
All right. Well, I was gonna have to go with Dana Holman.
I'm gonna say
Seriously?
Dana Holman. Sorry,
He just went to a Final Four 2 years ago.
Well, I'm seeing what he's doing this year. I'm not impressed.
Seriously?
No. Yep. Seriously.
Yep, John Beilein did the same thing. He couldn't make the tournament. That's just how it works.
James Tinkle is pretty bad.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
I'm going with Ernie Kett from Washington State.
Oh, that's ridiculous. He's got nothing to work with.
they produce NBA talent.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Klay Thompson, Aaron Baines,
And guess what? Washington State just swept Arizona and Arizona State on the road.
Okay.
All right. My worst coach in the Big 12 is Tad Boyle, the Colorado coach. He just hasn't done anything notable. I was going to go with the Utah coach, but he made 5 straight tournaments, so can't really say much about him.
How about that call by Joe Davis?
calm down.
Yeah, actually, I'll agree that was a good call by Joe Davis, but it's kind of hard to mess that one up.
The Big 12.
Yeah, I got to go with, this is a tough one. The Big 12 is a bunch of great coaches. The Oklahoma State coach is pretty bad. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have to go with him. I don't even know his name. That just shows you how bad of a coach he is.
Is this like during their tenure, or is this like as of like this year?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Bob Huggins.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Bob Huggins has had
They suck.
his entire starting lineup is out for the year. Of course his team sucks.
Yeah, you got to factor in some sort of history in there.
No, well, you said I asked you, and you said as of right now.
You like to change your pick?
And you know what? I'm gonna stick with my pick.
No.
He plays the same press every year, and it just gets broken by the end of the year. And nobody.
Well, West Virginia is a tough place to play. Just ask John Beeline. He couldn't make the tournament there, so.
I'm going with Lon Kruger.
That's terrible.
I was gonna say Chris better pick Lon Kruger.
No, he's awful. How much talent does this guy have? And he never does anything with it.
I don't know if
Oklahoma basketball really brings in.
They get a lot of talent.
I don't know about that. I just think
Eagles, Trae Young. I mean, look at all this talent.
He's one of those coaches that's good at. He's one of those coaches that is good like every 4 years. And the 3 years in between, he's good. He's just terrible. That's what Lon Kruger is.
Okay, the SEC.
Well, I gotta go with Tom Crean. I don't like what he's done at Georgia. I think he was overrated at Indiana. That's why they fired him, and I think he's one of the most overrated coaches in America. Tom Crean.
No, I hated him since he was at Indiana.
I hated him as an analyst too. He was a terrible analyst.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to take that into account.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Mike Anderson at Arkansas.
Oh,
good.
No.
They were good.
No.
Tell me when they were good.
They're one of those teams that's like an 8 seed every year, or a 7 seed. They're just having an off year.
They're one of the most irrelevant teams in any major conference.
Okay, I don't know about that. They make the tournament every year, usually.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I would say it's hard because you look at coach versus program. But I'm going to stick with him. Tom Crean is definitely my second one, though. I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, I'm going with Tom Crean as well. I agree. Not good coach.
Oh, shocked you didn't go with the Vanderbilt coach.
No, he lost his best player this year.
True.
Big E.
Oh God, can I list the entire conference? Like, this is a conference of a bunch of nobodies. I gotta go.
Conference as well.
There are some bad coaches in this conference. All the good coaches leave except for Jay Wright. That's because Jay Wright got a nice extension. The Marquette coach is nothing special. I think he's down there. Whatever, Wojciechowski or the heck his name is. But I think it's an easy one. I gotta go with Ed Cooley. I think he doesn't do enough with the players he gets.
Come on!
Listen, this is a tournament team. He's got David Duke. He's got Diallo. He can't make the tournament. This team is not very good.
They're gonna make the tournament.
No, they're not. And that stupid hairdo he has looks awful on him.
That's an embarrassing pick right there. That is one of the worst moments in this podcast history.
Well, I know that Chris is going to pick nobody because he thinks every Big East coach is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, and by the way, Coach McBuckets was number 2. I think he's awful.
Oh, really?
Yep. Talk about riding your son to success. That's what Coach McBuckets is.
Honestly.
Him and Steve Alford are just rode their sons to success.
I'd go with the guy from Xavier, but I don't think he's had long enough. And I would go with the guy from DePaul, but they've not sucked ass this year. So I'm going to go with Ed Cooley as well.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I was going to go with Travis Steele, but Alex said he is
Ed Cooley produces a play-in team as an 11 seed every year. Every 3 years they actually win that.
Honestly.
How about when they won the Big East tournament?
Did they lose?
Woo-hoo.
They lost.
The tough Big East.
No, it doesn't matter. But they won in spirit, is what I'm saying.
Okay, Michigan State won the Big Ten tournament in spirit last year too. I don't know what your point is.
Fair enough.
So did Rutgers. Rutgers won 2 games in the tournament last year. They won it in spirit.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna go with Travis Steele. He hasn't really had long enough there. So therefore, I'm gonna pick nobody because every other coach.
Oh wow! I saw this one coming. Jesus.
Okay, the ACC.
Oh, you got some bad coaches in this league. You got Jason Pastner from Georgia Tech. I think he's all right. I just don't think it's very hard to get recruits to go to Georgia Tech. Because did you know the state of Georgia does not actually play high school basketball? That's a fact. So it's kind of hard to recruit in the state of Georgia. Up north, I think Jim Christian's a crappy coach. I have to, I give respect to Boeheim. I don't think he's that great of a coach either. The guy, Jeff Capel from Pitt, he's building that program up. I'm going to go with Jay Larnaga from Miami. I think he's the most overrated coach of all time. He's been there for like 30 years. He always loses in the first round. Every year. He's just not very good of a coach.
Well, I think I know who Chris is going to pick, and I'm really not going to be happy.
No, I'm not picking Leonard Hamilton, don't worry.
No, not that. I'm going to go with Danny Manning from Wake Forest. They just suck every year. They're never good.
It's tough place to recruit.
They're terrible. They're not good.
The fact that Duke had more fans there than Wake Forest fans at their home game just shows nobody cares about Wake Forest basketball.
It was a Duke home game.
Yeah, it basically was.
And he doesn't get any recruits. He has one of the best recruiting states. He doesn't get anybody.
Okay, well, let's calm down with that.
I know. You could at least get someone half decent. They suck.
They have some 4-star recruit coming in.
Yeah, they are fourth in their state, maybe fifth behind Davidson too. So.
No, they're behind. They're behind UNC Greensboro too, and East Carolina.
All right, I'm going with Brad Brownell from Clemson. He's just been awful there. No,
I thought you were going to pick Tony Bennett.
Oh, how did you not take Tony Bennett?
I thought that's what I was talking about. I was like, Chris is going to pick Tony Bennett.
No.
I'm shocked he didn't take Tony Bennett.
Okay, let's move on. Big Ten.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Now, as much as I love Tim Miles, I think he's underachieved a little bit this year, even though, I think there's some things that have been out of his control. I think he's still underachieved a little bit. But this is an easy one. I'm going with Pat Chambers. He is just so bad. He's gone after this year, and he should be gone.
Yeah. I would have gone with Chris Collins at Northwestern, but he doesn't really get anybody to go there. So it's kind of hard to go against him. But Pat Chambers.
Yeah, Pat Chambers is up there. Well, this is an easy one.
Up there? He's terrible.
He's pretty bad. This is an easy one. I'm going with Archie Miller. The amount of talent he has in Indiana is... Well, he has a lot of talent in Indiana. He doesn't do anything.
True.
So,
I think Archie Miller was a terrible hire for the University of Indiana. The fact... That's like Alabama hiring the brother of the best coach of all time. Or one of the best coaches in the league. Because if you're Indiana, you don't get the second brother. That's not how it works in Indiana. You get top level guys to come in there. Like Fred Hoiberg.
Okay, let's move on. Real quick, don't need an explanation. Who's your team of the week?
Kansas State.
Duke.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Duke. All right, let's move into the picks. Last couple weeks. Alex in the first place, 27-10. Luke's 2 games back, 26-11. Mike, very, very tough couple of weeks, 20-17.
No, I had a decent week 2 weeks ago, and then last week was disastrous.
4 games back. I am on the come up.
Oh yeah,
28-9
right.
this week.
Wow.
6 games out of the lead.
Well, the only way you could go is up. That's how bad you were doing.
Well, this week I'm not going to pick a game wrong.
Okay.
All right, we will clip that.
All right, here we go. Let's get it off.
First game he's going to get wrong.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on ESPN, Virginia at North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina overlooked Miami in that game, but they still found a way to win. I got North Carolina handily by 10 points.
I'm taking Virginia, especially off a loss like that. There's no way that they're going to lose again. And keep in mind, also, Duke shot 62% from 3. And they're like 300th out of in like all the D1 schools in 3-point shooting. And Duke won by 10, so it's not even like they won by that much. So I'm taking Virginia.
I'm going with North Carolina because they're at home. It's a tough place to play, so give me North Carolina by 50.
Okay. Okay then. You know, next
right,
next year we'll be doing point spread, so that would actually matter. So.
All right, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, we have Kansas at TCU.
No, I really like TCU, and Kansas is shorthanded. I'm taking TCU. Even though Jamie Dixon struggles to win big games, I think he'll win this one.
Yep. Kansas is missing Lajarl Vick. I like TCU, especially at home. I'm going to take them.
I also like TCU. Kansas has not proven it on the road this year. So until they do, I'm going to keep picking against them. So give me TCU. Okay. Tuesday, 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. Purdue at Maryland.
You know, I like Maryland. I think they're a good team, but I think Purdue is going to win the Big Ten regular season. I'm taking Purdue.
This is tough. This is like a toss-up game for me. I'll take Maryland. Even though I didn't think they were that good, I'm still going to take.
Yeah, I'm taking Maryland too, just because they're at home and think Purdue is bound to lose at some point. So I'll take Maryland. All right, Tuesday, 7 o'clock ESPN, LSU at Kentucky.
Kentucky in a blowout.
Yeah, I'll take Kentucky.
I'm going with Kentucky in a close one. LSU's a good team. Great loss for Michigan last year.
LSU, yeah, LSU, great team because we lost to them like 24 months ago.
Okay.
I'm sure you still think Louisville's a great team. I know you lost them in the national championship about 5 years ago. Must still think they're a great team too.
They were great. They were a great team with Ben Simmons a couple of years ago, and they didn't even make the tournament.
Yep. Okay, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, ESPN2, Michigan State at Wisconsin.
I like Michigan State. Wisconsin coming off an emotional game on the road that they felt like they probably should have won. I think Michigan State is back, and I think they'll win this game.
Yeah, I think Michigan State, they kind of hit bottom against Illinois now on the way up again. I think they're going to get hot, and they'll take them.
I'm going with Wisconsin. It's a very tough place to play there. It's really tough to win there.
Iowa was also a tough place to play, and we won by 17, so.
Well, I have a gut feeling about this game, and I'm going with Wisconsin. It'll be a great watch in Michigan State.
Well, your gut got you 12 games down earlier, so.
Well, now I'm 6 games up. 6 games down. All right. This is Thursday, 7 o'clock. Illinois at Ohio State.
Illinois plays well at home. They're not great on the road. They're decent. I think Ohio State will win in a close one.
Actually, I'll take Illinois. I think they're playing well right now.
Yeah, you really must think Ohio State sucks.
I do. We were giving props for beating like Cleveland State at the beginning.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm not really sold on Ohio State either, but I'm not picking them to lose it to Illinois at home. I think they'll win in a close one.
Ohio State doesn't lose at the Nut House.
They almost lost to Penn State at the Nut House. So.
Well, they exercised their Penn State demons. Chris Holtmann did. That was a great win.
All right. We have a big game here.
Oh my gosh.
And if the date is wrong, the date was wrong on the Ohio State one. I don't know. And this is Tuesday, 8 o'clock on, I don't even know what that channel is, FSN. I don't even know what that is. Marquette at DePaul.
Here's what it means. It means the game is so bad that they're not going to televise it. That's what that means.
I thought it was the Nobody Gives a Shit network.
Yeah, exactly. Well, DePaul does not have a home court advantage, so I'm taking Marquette.
This is probably like a Marquette home game, so I'm going to take them.
Well, I'll tell you what. I watched Providence at the Paul a couple weeks ago.
Jesus.
And
why were you watching that?
It's a great game. It was a great game. They had a great home court advantage.
Hey, Chris. I was watching Memphis at Tulsa. It was a great game.
And you look at Marquette. They're a very good team. And DePaul, this is going to be a sellout for DePaul.
Oh, yeah, right.
It will be. And Marquette has had their troubles with DePaul in the past. They really, really have. They haven't beaten them for 2 years, except for earlier this year. But give me Marquette. And a close one, a very close one.
What a waste of a game. This is a waste of a pick.
They'll probably need Marcus Howard to score 70 to bail him out.
Chris, if you're going to put this game on here, you better pick DePaul.
I won't say that. I was very
No balls.
All right, we're moving on. Tuesday, 8:30 on Big Ten Network, Michigan at Penn State.
Well, another Michigan home game, as we see. The Bryce Jordan Center is a home game for every team that comes in. It's more of a neutral court because Penn State has no fans, but yeah, Michigan by 7.
7?
Yep. Penn State will keep it close.
Yeah, we'll find a way to make it closer than it should be. No, I'll take Michigan by probably like 18.
Well, Michigan struggles with their offense on the road, so that's why I'm saying Penn State will keep it close.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with Michigan here. Penn State, they've had their issues, so give me Michigan. Okay.
Had their issues. Just say that they suck.
No, I can't say that because they're playing Michigan.
They don't have any talent.
Okay. Tuesday, 9 o'clock ESPN. Duke at Louisville.
Well, I think Louisville could give Duke problems at some positions, but the thing is, Duke is just so much more talented on both sides. No, Louisville's a bunch of grinders, but I just don't know. The talent gap will just be too wide. I got Duke winning.
I'm shocked that you're talking about Michigan not playing home games. Duke doesn't play any road games. I know they just played Virginia, but still. Yeah, they have way too much talent. I'd be interested to see after that big, emotional, hyped-up road game that they just won, to see if they can bring that again against Louisville, but I think they're going to win.
I'm going with Louisville. Duke's bound to lose here. I think it comes at Louisville. I'll give you credit, Mike. It's a tough place to play. Louisville, they come off with a tough loss to Florida State. I think they'll bounce back, and they'll beat Duke. All right. Thursday.
Oh, my God. What is this?
Houston at UConn.
Jeez, I was joking about the American. My gosh.
Mike, you want to protest and not pick this game?
No, I that worked out horribly for me. So I should only be, probably 3 games back instead of 2 games back instead of 4. But anyway, I'm taking Houston. Jalen Adams is out for UConn. I'm taking Houston.
Where's the game?
UConn.
Kevin Ollie might show up in, I don't know.
Kevin Ollie.
I'll take Houston. They're much better.
Yes, Houston is more talented. Yes, everything points to Houston winning this game. But because I have blue blood bias, I'm picking UConn.
Okay, so Chris is at least 7 games back now.
Okay, Saturday, 12 o'clock on Fox. Maryland at Michigan.
I think Maryland will give Michigan some issues. I think Michigan's offense, because they're playing at home. Oh, look, another home game. I think they'll be fine. I think Michigan will win by 7, 8 points.
I think this is a game where they finally come back to the beginning of the season form. I think they're going to blow them out. So I'm going to take Michigan.
I agree. I think they're going to blow the doors off Michigan and run them out of the gym. It'll be over by halftime. Give me Michigan.
I thought you said Maryland's going to blow them off the floor.
No, Yeah.
You just said blow the doors off of Michigan. I'm going to take Michigan. What?
Well, I did not mean to say that. Okay.
Oh, are you
All
taking
right,
Maryland? Oh, wow. What a pick.
We're moving on. Saturday, 12 o'clock.
Oh, my gosh. Slow week at the office, huh?
North Carolina at Wake Forest.
North Carolina in a blowout.
Why are we picking this game?
I'll tell you what, USC almost lost at home to Miami, so I don't know.
They were looking ahead to Virginia.
UNC could show up with 5 of their scrubs and still win. I'm going to take UNC.
No. It's going to be a very good game. Big rivalry here, North Carolina, Wake Forest.
At what Wake Forest ends?
I'm going to take North Carolina in a very close game.
Jesus.
Might as well pick Wake Forest. I mean, seriously.
Might as well put Maine at New Hampshire, wherever they play them.
All right, big game here. This is Saturday, 4 o'clock. Iowa State at Kansas State.
I really like Kansas State. I'm taking Kansas State.
Me too.
Yep, I'm taking Kansas State, playing very well right now. All right. Saturday, 6 o'clock on ESPN. NC State at Duke.
Well, Kevin Keats is, we thought he would be a decent coach. I don't think he's a very good coach. He's got some decent players, and they're really struggling right now. I'm taking Duke, probably 85-21.
I was going to say, if they can score more than 24 points, maybe they'll be in the game. But,
Exactly.
Yeah, Duke has way too much talent. And wow, another Duke home game. Who shocks?
I know. It's like Beeline and Coach K have lunch together every time they have a home game.
I needed to put this one on here. Big rivalry. We saw what Dennis Smith did to Duke at Duke a couple years ago.
Wow. 3 years ago.
Duke will win by 40 points.
So Chris is saying that Braxton Beverly is just as good as Dennis Smith. So he had to put this on here.
Okay. Let's move on. Another big game here. Saturday, 6 o'clock, FS1, Iowa at Rutgers.
What is this, like the cakewalk SEC week that they have before every big game? Jesus. Yeah. I'm going to take, I feel like Rutgers would win this game. I'm going to take Rutgers. Give me the Scarlet Knights.
Wait, who are they on?
Iowa.
Where's the game?
Rutgers.
I'm taking Rutgers. Iowa doesn't win on the road.
And I've made up my UConn pick. I'm taking Iowa because I really like Iowa.
Nope, Rutgers is winning. Every time I pick Rutgers at home, they win, so.
All right, here's our game of the week. Saturday, 8 o'clock, Tennessee at Kentucky.
Kentucky's playing too well right now. I'm taking Kentucky.
I was just about to say that. Kentucky's starting to put it all together, so I'm going to take them.
Agree. Kentucky is starting to put everything together. But Tennessee's the best team in the country, and they're going to make a statement, and they're going to win this game. Give me Tennessee.
Jesus.
You just don't want to pick against them.
No, they're the best team in the country.
I'd take Duke by 50 over them.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
I'd take Virginia over them.
Tennessee just knows how to win. They have a veteran team that knows how to win. Well, we'll see how they play against real talent. They haven't played anybody that's been really talented since Gonzaga, so we'll see.
All right, Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS, Ohio State at Michigan State.
Yeah, I think we'll be playing it pretty well. I think the game will be a lot closer than people want it to be. It'll come down to the last couple of possessions, but I think we'll pull away. Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan State.
Yeah, I am too.
All right, last game. Sunday, 5 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Villanova at St. John's.
Villanova.
St. John's.
Good pick. St. John's, they've won some big games, beat Marquette twice. They just lost to a tough Providence team at home. But I'll go with Villanova. They're going to have a bounce back week after losing to Marquette.
So you said Alex's pick was good, and then you proceeded to pick Villanova.
It's still a good pick. Okay, that's going to do it for the Big Four podcast. Join us next week. And we will be ranking our broadcasters next week.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Thank you for watching.